Olá a todos, bem-vindos a mais uma conversa da Look Mag. Hoje tenho o enorme, mas o enorme prazer de receber três músicos incríveis, três músicos que lançaram agora um álbum fabuloso, sendo que um dos grandes incentivadores desta nova banda é El Estepario. El Estepario é Jorge e ele vem de Valência e está a dar cartas no universo da bateria mundial como poucos. Por isso é um orgulho do tamanho del mundo tê-los aqui. Meus meninos, vamos começar a entrevista com os The Coast. Jorge, Peter, Chris, first of all, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and a little bit of challenge to be here on our talks. So, first of all, welcome to my home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is a great pleasure for me because everybody who cares about music, of course, has been discovering a little bit about Jorge and about the drums. But the great news that he's bring us on the last few months was the creation of a mega, super, and fantastic group called The Cost. And that's why I would like to begin. I would like to know, Jorge, you have a great online presence. Everybody knows that. But what motivated you to create a band? What was inside of you that told you, I want more, I want to have great musicians with me? Tell me all about that.
Well, the place that we're using right now, where you're watching us talking right now, is actually a studio.
Mm-hmm.
I live downstairs. This is actually a professional studio called Nova Studios. And this is the place where these two gentlemen often used to come here to record with their band. And you still have the band with Balmouth.
Yeah.
And they have a terrific, very, very beautiful jazz. We could call it jazz, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a jazz band, very, very nice. And I'm downstairs practicing all the time. So they used to come here. I've known them for a long time. And every time I was playing and they were here jamming and improvising, I could hear to what they were doing. And it was so unique and so special that I was really intrigued to see what we could accomplish together. So there was no discussion about it. And the thought about creating a band, I guess it comes from a point of view of trying to do something just because I like it and not because I want people to like it. So in order to do that, you need to have a great team around you and people who are brave and who can defend their own sound. And these two people, yeah, they are the right people to do this and to take this forward. So there was not even an audition or anything. This was just what I wanted, and here we are. And the team has been working perfectly. And yeah, they are outstanding musicians, and I'm honored to be here with them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can say the same thing.
Yeah, likewise.
You know, we got here and we used to listen to him downstairs as well. You know? So, and yeah, it was mutual. Sorry.
Yeah. And what did you thought about? He's a crazy guy that plays drum like nobody else. We want to have something to do with him in musical terms.
Absolutely.
You thought like that?
Yeah. we felt sorry.
No, go for it.
Yeah, we felt I mean, it was kind of it was really nice, the thought of getting together and doing something, you know, when he thought about it. I think I wrote to you as well. I was like getting on
it was me too.
On a jazz gig, you know, because like, man, this fucker can play, you know. So it's like we knew that he liked our music as well, you know. So we said,
yeah.
I think the meeting was just inevitable, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm curious about one thing, because when we listen to you both, not Jorge, but to you, you were not born in Spain. You went to Valencia to study music. Both Peter and Chris, you were born in England, I suppose.
Yeah,
Chris. Well, I was born in England.
And you in Ireland. Yeah, great country, huh? Great country. But you went to Valencia to study music. I'm so sorry, because my son is a musician. So I have to ask you, what moved you to go to Valencia? Valencia is a wonderful town. It's a beautiful city. But what moved you to go there?
So I think our stories are quite different, mine and Chris's. We both did go to Valencia to study, but my mother is from Valencia.
Ah,
Yes, so I knew Valencia already, and I had maternal family here. I always wanted to be here and form part of
okay,
music scene here as well, you know.
okay.
So, but
I was just trying to get into music school, so I was looking to study jazz, and I got accepted in a place in London called Trinity, but I wanted to get out of London, so I thought I was going to Boston to Berkeley. There happens to be a Berkeley in Valencia. I had no
Yes, it
idea
is.
that Valencia even existed, if I'm honest, at the time. But they offered me a place, and one of my favorite, like absolute favorite bass players is the teacher there, Gary Willis, unbelievable bass player. So that was enough for me. I met Peter, I think, within the first year. We moved in together, we started writing, and we're still here 10 years later.
yeah, 10 years ago.
That's wonderful. What a wonderful story. And you got the best part of it because Valencia, I think, is prettier than Boston. It's cooler than Boston, and it's warmer than Boston, and has pretty girls than Boston. So you are on the right place.
We did
That's
good.
for sure. Jorge, tell me one thing. Were you born with a drum inside of you?
No, not at all. I started pretty late. I think I started when I was 12, and it was always more like a hobby. I never wanted to become a full-time drummer or something like that. But I got kicked out of university, so I had to do something with what I had, and I knew how to play drums, and that's when I started to play in jams and, just trying to make my way, yeah, all around the music industry, or however you want to call it. Actually, I met you just playing in jams. Yeah, we've seen each other a couple of times. We were all trying to do something from the beginning. We had separate ways, but we were all trying to find our place, and now apparently we found it.
That's very interesting because the three of you, have different musical backgrounds,
Yeah.
right? And when you sat together like that for the first time, what was the starting point of doing a band? Metal, jazz, prog. What was the starting point? Or you all like, one specific band? What did you?
I think I can answer that.
Yeah.
So we all have, like you said, we have different backgrounds.
Yeah.
But we're drawn to each other's styles as well, you know. So we thought about this project as a place where we can probably at first we can experiment,
Mm-hmm.
maybe bring in a heavier sound to the kind of jazz style, or the other way around, bring a jazzier sound to the heavy style, you know. But I think over time, you know, the more we got playing together, the more we started realizing, you know, what sort of music we can get into, and we're definitely trying to serve the song. I think that's one of the biggest things for us. But at the same time, you know, a lot of things just come out in the studio. You know, we say, all right, we sat down. This sounds great, so let's try this. This doesn't sound good, so let's not go with this. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of different things we kind of think about, but we have to try to let the music speak for itself. So
Yes, of course, of course. Are you all fans of System of a Down?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
Because we are.
Yeah.
big time. Yeah.
Big time, big time.
That's a common denominator that we have. Yeah.
Yes, it couldn't be better because they are the greatest for me. Okay. Another thing that I am very curious because have launched the first album. I hope I'm not wrong, but almost a year. No, not so much. A year. Okay. What led you to record the album back then? And looking back, the three of you are happy with the work that you have done?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would say, yeah, it took a long time to finish the album. I think we've spent enough time, more than enough time, in order for us to feel fulfilled and happy about the result. You can definitely tell that there are a lot of different influences in there. You know, it's hard to find two songs that are similar. with each other. But that's probably the most beautiful part about recording a first album. It's like a journey where we are all trying to find our sound and find the place where we are all comfortable, and not only doing something that we like, but also trying to channel something that people can also enjoy and serve the music, like Peter says.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be very different to what the second album will be, which probably will be less crazy and more focused on a specific, kind of music, now that we know what we can do and what we want to do. Yeah.
Well, we say that now.
Yeah, we say
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was going to say that you are telling this now, because when you go to studio or you go to rehearsal trying to create something, maybe it will be a little bit different.
Great things happen.
Great things happen when great minds are together, and when three great musicians are together, we don't know what can happen. I am very curious because the album name is Doppler Affection. So, affection is something that we feel about something or about someone. But how can I feel affection by a Doppler? Please explain to me the name of the album.
That's great. I think I don't know. I mean, we were we had a lot of different ideas for names, like many different ideas, maybe too many. And there was at some point where somebody said, we said, what about Doppler effect or something along the lines of that, because of the warping of sound, and we loved the association of the I guess the texture of the album being an experimentation of sound.
Mm-hmm.
And the explanation of Doppler effect, and how that can how we can relate that to the music that we release. So we said affection because we just love the Doppler effect, I guess.
That's a pretty cool word, because in nowadays when we see on social media, we see some people have shame of expressing affection, of shame of expressing their feelings. So it's pretty cool, but really pretty cool to have a band of young musicians and great musicians to put that word in the name of the album, affection. It's a beautiful word. It means wonderful things, and I congratulate you for that. Okay?
Thanks very much.
That was a statement I had to do. It's done. It's done. Now let's go into the album. The first single, it was called Not For Me. And I think, I don't know, it's like a little melodic song. And I would like you to ask you, how was the creation of this song? How did you create this specific song?
So it was actually, we'd written quite a few songs before this one that came out, and it was just a process of like any other song that we've done. It was just something that came out pretty spontaneously. We put a lot of ideas forth, and we say, okay, how do we feel about this? A lot of the times we say, maybe this is not the way to go. So that would happen a lot, but it would also happen with the things that we were very positive about. So Not For Me, it came about. I mean, do you want the meaning of the song, or do you want the actual how it was created?
My darling, I want them both.
Okay. So yeah, it was very easy. It was just an acoustic guitar, and playing it, the three of us saying, okay, this sounds good. We actually played it here. We sat down here.
Yeah.
And myself, Chris, we sang a little bit, and Jorge was just sitting there, and our producer Facundo was over here as well. We were just in this room, and we said, oh, this is brilliant. We said, we decided that we loved it, so we went ahead with it. And the meaning of the song is pretty interpretable, but I think it's it deals with loss, how the memory of losing someone close to you. That's kind of what I take from it. But you can take what you like from it also.
That's a democratic way to put things and to write music, because you give freedom to the audience and to the fans and to those that are listening, and that makes us fans turn the songs into our songs, and that's very nice from the musicians, not to close it between you three, but give it to us. So we have to do the interpretation that we like and bring the songs to our life, and that's very, very cool. Another thing that I'm very curious is the words, the lyrics. How do you come about with these words, music before, after, and how do you create alone, together? You are in the, I don't know, at the beach or at the subway or something, and you go and create something. Tell me, tell me.
So we kind of a lot of the things just come from like loose phrases, but the actual how they come about or when they're decided, it normally is after the music. The music is always first. And we kind of even the melody for the lyrics, that's always before we even think of a story or words for that melody. We have that really decided. We said this is a beautiful melody. Jorge said many times, it's like, I can't get this melody out of my head, so can we put lyrics to this, and that's it. So that's kind of the process of creation, and then the actual stories. A lot of the times, we think about maybe what's going on in the world at the moment. A lot of times I'm looking out at a window and I'm looking at a mountain. Most of the time I'm just looking at nature outside, and I imagine stories sometimes like this, and I think Chris as well. We're pretty much the same with that, right?
Yeah, not quite on your level, but
yeah. So it's very spontaneous, and it's kind of nice. A lot of word painting as well. There's something, it's texturally nice within the music. If it adds to the music, then we say yes, okay.
And when you go and pick up the micro and begin singing all those lyrics, I'm always curious because I don't sing, I don't play, only at doorbells. So when you pick up the micro and you begin to sing, is there a special feeling because it's when everything comes together? The music, the words, the musicians, and the voice. When you pick up the micro and when the other members of the band are at the drum, at the bass, guitar as well, do you think all that it's a brand new world that you are bringing to yourselves and to the others? Everything comes together, has some more meaning for you when you pick up the micro and begin singing with the other members of the band?
Yeah, well, if you're referring to the feeling of playing with the band, it's
Yes.
very different to just looking at a wall and playing with my acoustic guitar, whatever. When it comes together, when we're able to rehearse this music, then it's amazing, and I think it's very contextual as well, because if we have crowd in front of us and maybe we hear the crowd singing back something like this, and that's massive. We don't get that in rehearsals, but that's fucking huge. Like. So yeah, it's very special, definitely.
And what's the if you have to explain to us a night or an afternoon of rehearsal of the cost, how do you characterize your rehearsals? Chaotic, intense, mad?
all of those things. I mean, we're
all of those things. Oh.
Yeah. We're here right now. We finished a rehearsal this morning. It went really well. I mean, it's been a process, just like recording the album was a process. We learned how to work together. I think it's been a great teacher, learning how to try and set deadlines. And the deadline for the rehearsals is the show. It's actually going to be our first show in Comendatio, which we can't wait for. But that deadline's really pushed us to get our shit together, basically, and get this show happening. And it's amazing. Every week it just sounds better, for me at least, anyway. And it's new skills. Like, it's not music I've I've played for years. So I'm reliving my childhood and, you know, playing with these incredible musicians. It's a joy to do, really. So, but it's only once a week. We're going to be ramping up the time soon, and it will get more intense. And so if anything, the intensity just comes from it being new to all of us. You know, we're trying to deliver the best of ourselves, but yeah, it's a joy to do.
Jorge, my dear, what is the story behind the band's name? There's a story or not?
Ooh, that goes back to you. What's the story? You tell the story.
Yeah, we are. It's always open to interpretation, also as well. But no, we definitely have a bit of a story actually, and it's Chris, Chris's dad actually.
Chris Senior,
yeah, Chris Senior. So we were struggling to find a name, you know, for a while, and we were saying, you know, what's a good name for this music that we're writing? We started writing music before we had a name, and we just shot around so many different options, and then eventually Chris's dad came up with the cost.
Yeah, but I think there's some, you can interpret it how you want. For us, I think it has a deep meaning, the cost, because it's not necessarily the cost of something you pay up front. It's the sacrifice for us. You know, we've chosen to put everything else to one side to do what it is that we love the most. And of course, sometimes you see benefits and rewards from that, and sometimes you don't. But that's one thing we've all got in common, is we haven't stopped. You know, we haven't stopped pursuing our goals and our love for music, and that's ultimately why we're all here and why we're doing this now. So I think the cost really, for me at least, I resonate with that.
Now I'm going to tell you that Look Meg will be Look Meg Eka Cost because I never give up. I never give up like you three.
Brilliant.
I spoke earlier about System of a Down, and it was not an innocent band that I brought to our conversation, because Arise was recorded with Serge voice. And Jorge, how did that happen? Dear Lord, how did that happen?
It was
Because
actually
Serge is a god.
yeah, but it was very easy. It was surprisingly easy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, totally. We had a song. We had Her Eyes. Basically, we already finished with it, but we had some kind of, we were like blocked. We didn't really know how to add the final twist to the song with the vocals and this and that. And we were just spinning in circles. We couldn't find the right idea. So I thought, considering what we wanted to talk about, which is, war and all the disgrace that brings, we thought who would be better, and that would be Serge. You know, Serge is active. Serge knows a lot about what's happening on the world, and he's protesting against the injustice of war. He has been doing it for decades already. So I thought, why not ask him? Because the initial idea was to grab all the earnings from that song and give it to a charity to protect the children who are unfortunately present at conflicts. And I thought we would just be transparent about it and ask Serge. And truth is, as soon as he heard, I don't want to speak for him, but I think that was the turning point. As soon as he learned that we were going to do that, and that we were not expecting to make money with it, but to give that money away to some cause, he just went for it. And it took him, I would say, less than a day. Yeah. Since the moment he said yes till the moment he delivered those beautiful vocals, it was less than a day. He just delivered everything properly, and he was grateful to do it. He actually said, "Thank you for the inspiration today." You know,
wow.
He was inspired to do that at that certain point. I guess he was not touring. Probably he had free time, and he decided he wanted to be a part of it. And we are extremely grateful about it. We cannot believe it, but yeah, it happened. It happened fast, quick, and he was very, very nice. I've never met anybody who has been that nice to me, without having anything in exchange, because that's also something that I need to say. A lot of people ask, how much did it cost to get Serge? It didn't cost nothing. He didn't want money. That's a person that fortunately has freedom enough to act according to what he believes and not because of the money that he's going to get in exchange for doing something. So he was not interested at all in the money. He was just interested in contributing to a good cause, and that's what happened.
He has a great heart.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. You have built, especially you, a big career with social media and internet. And I would like to ask, is this important for bringing the band more closer to the audience? Because in nowadays, it's easy commas to release music because everything is much easier to do at home, in your room, in your, I don't know, in your living room, whatever. But you have the social media and the internet that can open the doors to show the music and the art to the other persons. But it's not easier because there is a lot of persons doing that. In your case and the case of Cost, do you think it is essential to give the audience the knowledge of what are you doing among all these sea of people writing and playing music?
Yeah, unfortunately, I would say I would like to ask, to add unfortunately, because it is needed, very much needed. It makes everything way easier. But if you ask me, I personally don't like it. I think music should speak for itself, and there shouldn't be the need to be backed up by a strong social media presence, which in any case is an indicator of good music or bad music. It's just an indicator of how much and how fast you can gather the attention of people, which is basically the currency that you use to pay on the music industry nowadays. So yeah, it's a new scenario where artists are forced to have a strong following in order for the people to be interested in what they have to say. But I guess before music did that job, and now you need to do it with shorts and reels and TikToks, which is stupid, and it's a big problem. Fortunately for us, we can surf the wave, but unfortunately for the music industry, there are a lot of great artists that just drown on that sea of attention on social media. So it's a crisis. I'd say it's like a catastrophe, but not for us because, well, we knew how to do it, but that was just pure luck, and we in no shape or form any of us support that way, that new culture of social media. It's not an indicator of good music. It's not an indicator of anything.
Yeah, I do agree with you, and I think it is very important to have your opinion on this because younger people think is in the internet is good. No, not everything that is in the internet is good. There are marvelous things outside internet, so you have to be balanced between both of those worlds. How do you see the band evolution in terms of sound from nowadays through the coming years?
Well, maybe we should chat again in 6 months or something.
Of course, it's a deal.
I think we're all just excited to see what comes out. We're just searching for ideas that excite us, for music that we want to play. As Jorge said, and Peter before as well. I mean, we're not necessarily looking for music that we think people want to hear. We're playing music that we want to play, that we love, and something that excites all of us. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to come up with. We've actually got something right behind you on the computer. I won't show you anything, but it's something from last week, and that's how ideas happen. We bring ideas. We get together, the three of us. Individually, we bring ideas, and if they inspire us, we work on them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know is the short answer.
It's a deal 6 months from now.
Done. Yeah.
You are coming to Portugal to play at Comendatio for the first time as a band. And what does it mean to you? For each one of you? And then all together, what does it mean?
It means a lot of excitement because this is the first time we're going to be doing this in a live audience setting. So that that rules everything else. I think, you know, we're really excited to be able to do this in a live context and connect with an audience, and really excited that it's in Tomar in Portugal. You know, that festival is bringing a lot of fire. It seems there's amazing bands playing, you know, on the day that we're playing, and
Yeah.
so that's already an honor. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and so we're working really hard to you know, nail that.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm
Jorge.
terrified. Yeah, I'm speaking for myself. I'm terrified. It's going to be the first one is very hard, believe it or not. I mean, even if we can play the songs, even the fact that we can play in here doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to be at a show working with a lot of people that we don't know, on a scenario, on a stage that we don't know. There are a lot of details that could go wrong. I mean, this is something that you get accustomed to after years of touring, but this is the first show. Now all of us have played live on a lot of different scenarios and in front of a lot of people, but I think it's very different when it's your personal project. You know, it's our responsibility to make everything work. We don't have a tour manager or a manager or any kind of help from anybody, so we're trying to do everything by ourselves. And I think we are both excited and terrified because, you know, we need to take the responsibility for whatever happens. Yeah. But we are working our best, and the fact that we are giving our 100% probably kills the, you know, the remorse of whatever could go wrong. We don't really care. We tried our best, but yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility. Yeah.
You know, it looks like when we go on a date for the first time and we have all those butterflies here before we meet the other person, right?
Date with Tomar.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what do you expect from the audience, from the Portuguese crowd? We are a little bit crazy, but you know, because you live in Spain, so.
I suppose we're hoping that they'll enjoy it as much as we do. I think it's like a culmination of everything that's happened until now. You know, all the getting together, the hours spent in the studio, the writing, the hanging out as well, and I think hopefully it's just as exciting for them to see us for the first time. You know, this is going to be the first of many shows, and hopefully the first of many albums as well. And I think it's going to be a huge experience and a great experience for all of us, the audience. I've personally got some family members coming, so that'd be nice.
Wow, that's cool.
More pressure though.
More pressure though, yeah.
But I can't tell them not to. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And also, we're flying there. It feels like a big deal. It's not like we're just going down the road and playing at a pub
no.
It's a big deal for us.
Yeah, so, I can see that. Before we go, do you have any time schedule for the new album?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't even think we should be restrained to having a deadline, you know? When things happen, for example, when we were talking about Not For Me, I think the fact that made Not For Me the first song was the fact that we didn't have to think about anything. Things just happened instantly, and we didn't have second thoughts about anything. And yeah, my best guess is that the second album should be the same. If it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years. But if it takes 6 months, it will take 6 months. I don't think we're ready to have the conversation, but we're not in a hurry. I don't think it should be, a big deal how long we should wait. But now we know how to work, and that's already the most important part. Now we know each other. Now we know how to compose, how to create, how to record. Now we have those things, set up. So probably as soon as we start, it's going to take less time than the first one, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And kind of Doppler affection is like a child. Now you have to see this child grow up a little bit and get some wings and fly her own life, right?
Exactly.
My dears, it was a big, huge, enormous pleasure to have you here. I hope you have a safe journey from Valencia to Tomar, and I hope you have the time of your lives in Portugal, because we are anxious to welcome Coast near us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.